This weekend, I had the opportunity to attend the Alabama-Mississippi TESOL Conference. That's the Teachers to English as Speakers of Other Languages organization that is a joint effort of Alabama and Mississippi. And one of the sessions I was able to attend was provided by Baldwin County Public Schools, where they have an ESL Newcomer Center and program design that includes heritage language instruction. So I wanted to share the handouts from their session with you and introduce you to a variety of different course offerings and opportunities that they provide. Libby and I actually had a chance to visit the heritage language class back about 3 years ago when we were investigating the implementation of heritage language instruction at Thompson High School, and then I returned there as I was completing my research that led to the development of the syllabus for this course. So I was intrigued to learn more about their program and to see how they've expanded it since we visited them several years ago. This cover page here shows you the names of the various teachers connected to the Newcomer Center and the variety of courses and dual certified and highly qualified teachers, so that for their newly arrived high school ELLs, how they're able to provide sheltered instruction, and then also the opportunity for heritage language instruction. Most of the students in their heritage language course are newly arrived students who arrived as newcomers to the U.S. entering high school or late in middle school. You'll note here that the heritage language teacher is Patricia Rosales, and Patricia is a native speaker of Spanish from Mexico. Her undergraduate degree is from a university in Mexico in translation, and then she came to Texas and got her master's in bilingual education. So she has a really diverse background and experience in what she's done professionally, and then with time as her family came to Alabama, she also is a certified ESL teacher as well. This page provides general information regarding the newcomer program in Baldwin County, and a key thing to point out here is that their students are bused from their high schools to their college and career center, where the students are able to participate in the newcomer course. Baldwin County, like Jefferson and Shelby, is geographically diverse, as well as having a large number of schools, and so they have found that particularly in the southern end of their county that they can provide greater services in this way. And since the buses run regularly to the School of Technology, then it's a way to provide services in one site, and there was a natural transportation opportunity there as well. This page provides information about various course offerings that they have and the way that they schedule and define their ESL courses. This is the second page of course offerings that they have for ESL as well, and the final page will include information about the heritage language courses. Here you'll see where they've outlined some of the more academic courses involved in the Newcomer Center, but of particular interest and connection to our course is the Spanish for Heritage Language courses. So then you can see here that while they are courses designed for heritage language learners and native speakers, that they utilize the same course codes as Spanish 1 and Spanish 2 for the students. Again, with Patricia's background being in bilingual education and native language instruction, translation background, then she's prepared to effectively teach this course, and later in the packet you'll see the resources and textbooks that she uses in teaching her course. This year they have expanded their course offerings so that students who've completed the Spanish 1 and Spanish 2 for heritage language native speakers can then go on and participate in a Spanish translation and interpretation course where they're learning about what the skills are that are required to be interpreters and translators. And interestingly enough, they shared how they are able to incorporate the students into providing some translation and interpretation services in the school system as a means for them to practice their translation. In this way, students are involved in translating written notes to parents or parent conferences that are not involving discipline or other highly confidential information, but in general support roles to the schools, because it turns out there's an elementary campus that adjoins the School of Technology campus, and therefore during their time that they're there for the Spanish translation and interpretation course, they can just go over to the adjoining campus and practice those skills there. And again, this is under the guidance of a teacher. and so they get feedback and advice and direction on the quality of what they've done, as well as how to manage different situations and to appropriately and effectively translate and interpret information. The packet from their presentation includes a wide variety of information about the various courses that they offer. So I'm going to post up the packet so that you can see it, and then just have this file be where I've added the oral commentary, so that I could just share information about my experience and what I learned in their session, and that can contextualize for us one application of heritage language instruction from not too far away, and that's here in Alabama. In the packet then is concluded resources that Patricia utilizes in her heritage language course, and so she has included photo clippings of the various resources and a brief synopsis of each. And so you can see here on this page that she utilizes the textbook Tu Mundo, which is a Spanish for heritage language speakers text that's available, and that they have purchased and have it and the workbooks for the students to utilize. And then you can see there are other materials that she has. I think that is El Acento Escrito, and then variety of different forms of literature or different novels that she utilizes in instruction. The instructional resources and materials continue from here, where again you can see some additional novels, Cajas de Cartón and Senderos Fronterizos, that she utilizes, Más allá de mí. That is a series of novels that Francisco Jimenez has written. She also really highlighted in both presentations I attended that where she was leading the video series that she's found here, Latino Americans, which really covers the history and contributions that Latino Americans have made in U.S. history. You'll see there she also highlights RAS Kids, which is a levelized reading program available online that goes from level AA, which is pre-literacy, to level Z, which is about 6th grade reading level. And they have books available in English primarily, but they have expanded their offerings and include materials in Spanish and in French, so that it's an easy way to access levelized text for students, and students can begin at the very basic level of picture-word correspondence to the more advanced forms of text. Again, most everything includes some connection to a visual. Of course, in those upper levels of X, Y, and Z, the visual support would be minimal, but there are many great books. I shouldn't say several, but many great books available through Reading A to Z. We've utilized it in our ESL program for a while, but particularly even recently, we've considered native language assessment, really trying to determine the student's Spanish reading level, and have really gone to this so that we could use it to hone in on about what grade level he may read and understand. You also see here a free website that she utilizes in the Scholastic Spanish magazines, and several other websites. I'm sorry, I mentioned only the first one, Aula Fácil, but there are several others here that she utilizes and that you can definitely investigate. She explained, her course is definitely for Hispanohablantes or Spanish speakers, and therefore it's strictly taught in Spanish. She does utilize a good bit of literature, as you can see, in her instructional resources and for the students, as we've kind of read and Libby shared from her class, and just various aspects of our course thus far. The students are hesitant to read because they don't feel very confident. And of course, she was sure to point out in the session that when she has students who come and participate in the Spanish 1 and Spanish 2 courses for native speakers, if they arrived in 6th, 7th, or 8th grade, and so they've been here a few years but not had much support of their Spanish during those few years, that actually when they get to class, she recognizes that their Spanish is somewhat calcified, that it stopped at the level at which they entered. And so entering back into that Spanish 1, Spanish 2 course allows them to further expand their language and grow beyond where they have been. This final page shows the text and resources that Patricia is utilizing in her translation and interpretation course. And it was neat to hear her discuss this course offering, and she was very excited, and as was her supervisor, that they were offering this. I know in the past few years there has been more discussion with college and career readiness about schools and school systems having such courses in translation and interpretation for students as a means to hone their skills and support their career development. And so I think it's a neat application. This course doesn't count as a foreign language credit, if you will, but rather just a further elective. I asked them if there would eventually be a college and career connection, and at this point they don't really have an answer for that. But they did really point out, and I think it's key to note, that as they look at their program each year, they're changing it every year. And I think we would all say that as good teachers, we're always changing our instruction. But particularly with their programming and their course offerings, they're constantly reflecting on what their students need and or what their assessment results show, and tweaking it from there. So they're very sensitive to the needs of their students. One key factor there is that the ELL population is predominantly Spanish, and they have access to several bilingual teachers as a part of their ESL staff. They also, which is just a point of note, not so much connected to the Heritage Language course, but just in general to having a Newcomer Center. They had a relationship with UAB regarding training teachers and a grant for teachers to pursue their certification in ESL. And so that really helped support the development of their program, and they've been very, very proactive in meeting the needs of their students. One final note to make here is that during their session they shared a video. I am hopeful to get a copy of the clip so that I can share it with you, because while it shows the majority of the sheltered courses, there is a clip of Patricia's Heritage Language course for Spanish speakers, and they've told me that they're more than fine with sharing it with me. I am to see if it's available on their school district's website, and if not, as soon as I can get it, I will get it posted up so that you can see it, because it's a really neat opportunity to see what's here on paper in action and live, and to hear the teachers talk about what they're doing.